So there it is, the new rotor, $109 each, rather large, that's for a large truck. So we just give her, make sure you get all that grease off there.
About 2 millimeters left.
2 millimeters left? Sweet. Yeah, so that'd be the noise then, eh?
Possibly.
Wow. So yeah, just piss this stuff all over them. Make sure you gotta get all that crap off there, or else you'll bugger up the new brakes. So, yeah. Sheesh. So you just gotta make sure the surface, this surface here and on the back side is clear of all that. I don't know if you could see it, but all this sticky, oily type stuff they use to protect it while they're shipping it, so it doesn't rust. But you got to get all that off big time, or it, you know, you're gonna have trouble. New brake pads, precision engineered. So these guys probably gonna have a little more meat on them than the old ones. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. About a millimeter left on them other ones, but we're having, well, Nelson's having some grief trying to get the caliper itself off. So we've just got to give her the old heat treatment there. Teach it a lesson. Sheesh. Oh, they're rusted on there pretty good. See how they rust on the ground. That don't want to come off at all, eh? Sheesh. Oh, what? Needs the heat. Sheesh. Yeah, got her off. The e-brake guys don't look that bad in there. So just a little heat on this surface here is where it was stuck. So yeah, that's how these ones work. The e-brake drum is inside here, and then the caliper, you know, out there or whatever, obviously. So, well, back here, drum comes out, puts on there, no biggie. We'll fire on the, you got the new one? Or not yet? Got to blow her out a little bit. Clean her up a bit. Friggin' windy out. Wind doesn't do too good for my microphone there. Oh well. Look at that one, eh? Just pooched. Holy. There's where the noise was coming from.
Caliper pins are seized too.
Caliper pins are seized? Oh, yeah. Get some lithium in there or what?
Yeah, that's something I might heat them up too. Stick them in the place and crank them back and forth.
That's what needs to happen with your brakes is this piece here needs to slide freely on these guys, and it's just solid, like ridiculous on there. So they're moving a little bit, but man, they need to be sliding free on there. That's why the friggin' brakes wore the way they did. The one side was a lot worse than the other, eh? Yeah. Sheesh. Holy. Sounded just like it did when I backed up. Careful. Sheesh. No jucking yourself. There we go. Holy. Friggin' nightmare. See, that's what you want. Nice and free. So we cleaned up, pulled them out, cleaned up the pins. Give them a little spray with some lithium there. White lithium grease. And probably should use some a little bit thicker stuff, but it's all I got right now, so it'll have to do. That'll do the trick. You just want those to move freely. I think they should have friggin' grease nipples or something on there.
Should.
I mean, Give him a little dollop once in a
Kind of
while.
thing for him to seize up.
Sheesh. So, reassembly, and then we're good. Friggin' pop the new caliper holder on there, which is the piece with the sliding guys onto it, and mount the caliper with the new pads into it, put tire back on, torque the nuts to the recommended torque. We're good. No more squealing and moaning and stuff when I back up, I hope. Sheesh. So there's one side done. Sheesh, I'm glad I know Nelson. Man, there's no way I could have done that with my back the way it is. Holy. Now look at these. Just brutal. Let's see if there we go. Let's show you just about how close we were to having steel on steel there. So, yeah, we were about due. I got the lifetime out of those, or the life expectancy, or whatever. I don't know. You're not going to get another day out of those, that's for sure. So, sweet. Nelson's the man. So this is what happens when your caliper bracket is seized. So this would have been the back side, and this would have been the side that the pistons actually push against. So when it's seized, I mean, this brake pad basically just sort of barely, I don't even think this one will do anything. It's all this one, because the piston sort of pushes this against the caliper, and that's why this one's wore out so bad, and this one's still good. You know what I mean? Like, we could just almost change one pad, but I mean, there's no sense in doing that. You got them, you change them, right? So it's almost, what you need to almost do is take your brakes apart every 3 or 4 months, and just grease the sliders, the pins that the brake caliper mount slides on, and you know, you save yourself friggin' money in the long run, really. So, sheesh. Okay, so Nelson just left, got the brakes all changed and everything, and they needed to be changed, but on the driver's side we found that the axle tube is leaking into the brake drum portion of the rotor, or the emergency brake drum portion of the rotor, and it turned like the brake dust into just a gooey mess. So clearly, the seal's leaking. The front axle was doing the same thing last year. Well, it wasn't doing the same thing. It was just dripping because the front wheel drive, obviously there's a big knuckle and everything in there before the so it didn't get into the brake, but it was dripping onto my driveway. That's how I noticed, and I didn't do anything about it then because it was like the beginning of the summer and blah blah blah. I didn't have time and everything else, and just like everything else, I put it off, and so now winter's coming and I'm going to need the 4-wheel drive, so I need to change that seal. But in the drawing that I got from the dealership, and when I was talking to the guy, he seems to, it was just the guy at the desk. I mean, he's not a mechanic, but he seems to, be under the impression that the seal is inside of the axle tube, like closer to the differential, not out at the end where you would, assume and hope it would be. I mean, you could just take the guy apart, pull the axle tube out, or the axle shaft out, put the seal in, jam her back together, good to go. But I can't imagine how you would change the seal if it's so far into the axle tube that it's, sort of between the axle tube and the differential. I mean, unless the axle tube comes apart, but I can't see that. You know what I mean? Like, it just boggles my friggin' mind how this seal is changed. So I mean, maybe it is right on the end of the axle tube and the drawing is wrong, or the drawing's for something else. I don't know. The guy gave me this sort of, I wish I had it to show you what I'm talking about, but I lost it. But anyway, it's a 2005 f350 6-liter diesel, single rear wheel, and both driver's side axle, like front and rear axles on the driver's side, need the seal changed. So if you can help me out by just letting me know how this happens, or maybe there's a website with some information on it. I've tried looking, and I'm like just completely useless on computers, so I end up getting frustrated and not, I can't find it within a few minutes, and it makes me mad, and I want to just smash it and not deal with it. But yeah, so anyway, if you can give me any information on how to change the seal, or even where the friggin' seal is in the axle itself, then I'd appreciate it. So and another thing, a lot of you know that I've been accepted for YouTube Partners, so this is going to be my first video I put up after being accepted, so I'm really excited about that, and that, it should help. Well, anything will help at this point. I can't work, so any money coming in's better than no money coming in. And a lot of people have been asking me about Rick, and what happened with, he made that video saying he was going to give me his YouTube earnings for this month, and the PayPal account and everything, and he did. He gave me I think it was 200 and maybe 280 bucks. I can't remember. It was 230, 280. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much. It was just the other day. He gave me that money, and he transferred the money from the PayPal into my PayPal, so I got that. So, he did give me the money, and, he's, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, the guy, he did a solid, man, like, who does that? You know what I mean? The guy's friggin' broke, he doesn't have a job or whatever, whatever. The only income he has is from YouTube, and he coughed it up. That, to me, is solid. So, lay off the guy. The guy gave me the dough. Relax. You know what I mean? So that's all I really got to say about that, other than, thanks, Rick. You're solid. You know what I mean? So, I was supposed to go over there today, actually, but, just not enough time today or whatever. But anyway, thanks, Rick. Thanks, YouTube, for accepting me for partner. That's awesome. Thanks, everybody, for watching my videos. And thanks in advance for giving me any information you can about my truck problems here. Like, obviously I should have stayed on top of things, but, every weekend going on to the farm and spending all week sort of getting ready to go to the farm and doing, working during the week, and things like that. They're just, I don't know, things get put in the end of the list sort of thing. So anyway, thanks everybody, and this will be my first video up since I've been accepted for YouTube, so I'm pretty pumped about it. Thanks, guys.